Carl, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me pretty well?
Carl, who is your employer?
I work for Grange Resources for just over 5 years now.
And what is your title?
Civil and Environmental Engineering Manager.
And can you briefly describe to the board what your job responsibilities are?
So I coordinate all the necessary permitting for the civil construction projects. So basically, what you need permit-wise to be able to build these support the building and completion operations. So a lot of that involves the stormwater management, laying out these sites to be as least intrusive as we can make them environmentally and social and for everybody. So putting all that information together, coordinating with the design, consulting engineers to get those sites permitted as well. And I also provide support for the technical documentation for municipal permitting as well.
And your environmental permitting include not only stormwater management, but erosion sedimentation control and stream and wetland encroachment permits if they're required from DEP.
Well, every DEP permit other than the well themselves would be my responsibility.
And what was your employment prior to joining Grange Resources?
I work for Larson Design Group, a consulting civil engineering group, surveying, that sort of stuff. And I basically have done land development for probably, the past 25 years. So basically, the same general idea of taking the raw piece of ground and getting municipal and state permits to be able to build whatever you're looking to build. So I'm doing consulting civil engineering for 25 years now.
And what's your educational background?
I have a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from Penn State, and with a focus on again, environmental, hydraulic engineering, utilities, that nature.
And we've already noted Exhibit 1 as being the application binder. What was your role in the preparation of that binder?
So with support staff, we are responsible for preparing that documentation. Certainly, I have other folks who are helping pull things together. If there are questions about something that, then certainly I would be consulted on that, but certainly I oversee the preparation of it.
Two of the items that I noted from the application, tab D, or tab C is a narrative, a project narrative. Were you involved in the preparation of that narrative?
Yeah, that's more of a general description of what we're doing.
Okay. And what is Exhibit 1D, tab D?
So that would be the compliance comments. That's what we refer to them. Basically, we step down through the oil and gas ordinance requirements. I think there are 27 of them in the Cecil ordinance, and we basically, point by point, basically 12 pages of documents go into addressing how we specifically meet those requirements.
And did you participate in the preparation of those comments?
Yes.
And is the information contained in those compliance comments as well as the narrative true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
It is.
At this point, Mr. Math, if you could, I would like you to share some of the screens that we talked about earlier. I'd like you to briefly pull up Exhibits 3 and 4. Again, what is Exhibit 3?
Exhibit 3 would be the zoning review letter provided by Glenn Smith, Cecil. That basically look at just the zoning specific requirements, and that was a review that they provided as part of their review application.
And the one outstanding item that was noted there was the ESCGP, is that correct?
At that point in time, it was not signature.
And subsequent to Glenn Smith's solar array letter, did Range procure the ESCGP permit from DEP? You just muted there.
ahead, Blaine, you want to ask him again?
You hear me?
Yeah. Carl, did subsequent to Len Smith's March 18 letter, did Range procure the CGP from DEP?
We did secure that permit, yes.
Yeah. And that's now included in the record, is that correct, in the application materials?
Correct, we have provided copies of that as a supplement.
Okay. And briefly going now to Exhibit 4.
Yes, Exhibit 4. Attended the Planning Commission, this is the Township Planning Commission meeting, and presented both projects to the Planning Commission, and this was the recommendation from the Planning Commission.
And basically it was respond to Leonard Smith's comments related to the stormwater and the grading, and they didn't say specifically what, but indicated that the recommended sound attenuating walls be erected. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, let's jump back down to the PowerPoint Exhibit 2, because that really provides the background on this project.
You see it?
Yes. Ms. Fisher, can individuals who are in the room see it?
It is, there are ways to bring it down, but maybe you can go down full screen. It's just how she's showing. That's better.
Which way?
Like that. Should we bring it down a little bit more? Go back.
Other way.
Other way. Sorry.
Yeah, you need to go to your left. Well, I guess. Get off the map and move towards the words. I don't know why you can see it on here. Can you see it on that screen? So it's the projection. If you want to bear with us for 1 second while we try to fix the projection on our big screen.
Certainly.
Just someone do now. See up the top of the view option. Go down to like 50%. We got it. Okay, we're good. Go ahead.
So Carl, if you could just walk through each of these slides. It may be a little repetitive, but for individuals who maybe can't view the screen, go over the detail that you're providing in the screen for everybody, get everybody oriented. I think you can also, with a cursor or your mouse, help give everybody a better perspective on location.
Yeah, so the screen we're looking at is just basically more overview information. There's a little bit of a location map where you can see where Grange ties into State Route 50 with the well pad located. The red line would be its limit of disturbance. The green line would be edge of gravel, located at 134 Grange Road. We have the parcel data up on the slide as well. It's in the R1 zoning district. As you mentioned, Blaine, the well pad is capable of holding 14 wells. We initially wanted to plan to develop 5. Looking at, we have an operations timeline with construction slated for, obviously, use approval, but we do have our permits from DEP. So in the beginning of 21, we'll look to build this pad with the air rig showing up in later summer of 21. The big horizontal rig showing up in spring of 22. Completions activity in August of 22. And then bringing those wells in line with production in the fall, late fall of 22 as well. Those dates, just caveat, are subject to change. We can adjust the schedule a little bit, but that's our preliminary schedule at this point.
I think you need to go back one, Carl. Yeah, there you go.
That window, a decent window or not? I don't know what you're really seeing on this. I'm trying to tighten up. I could just run up. Can you see that fairly well?
Yep, we're good.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
we're good. Yeah, we're good.
So now what we're looking, this is the site plan, the erosion control, stormwater management plan. Basically, it depicts all the grading, the earthwork, and stormwater management facilities and conveyance elements. So at the entrance here, we show our paved entrance. That will be the first 50 feet of it. We've got a stormwater basin pretty much right off the bat. That's treating, mitigating stormwater from the road primarily. There's a channel here, a pipe to dump into that basin. Further up, we've got some upslope drainage here that we're going to convey down through. Let that run through this little draw, if you will. Another stormwater basin, primarily treating the eastern, I guess I say southern half of the pad, north being left here. So this stormwater basin treating primarily the increasing runoff from this, the southern gravel side of this. And then another stormwater basin on the northern side, taking the northern half of the pad primarily. Again, channels. Sorry?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Some channels collecting that water off the pad and into these basins. We were in what was called a limited release rate district, so we had to over detain. So in the end, this runoff from this pad should be less than it was before we developed the pad. So that's why you're seeing a fair amount of stormwater management and fairly tight here.
Carl, the stormwater management, again, these ponds, they're what you would typically see with any residential or commercial development, is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, what their purpose is to, again, hold back the water and release it at a slower rate to, again, mimic those historic conditions, or in this case, slightly reduced historic conditions. Yeah, just stormwater management. That's all this, we have containment on the pad itself. So these inlets that are on the pad have valves that we shut off during completion operations. So try and contain everything on the pad. The only thing that would get into these ponds would be stormwater runoff.
And so there are no, is it accurate to say there won't be any impoundments holding water, either fresh water or reused water for purposes of hydraulic fracturing on the pad, is that correct?
Correct. There are no impoundments for freshwater or reused water on this location.
And are there any what are called reserve pits on the site?
No, there will be no drill cuttings pits. It's all a closed loop drilling system, and all the drill cuttings are taken off. They're solidified and taken off site.
Just a little bit stepping back, what's the size of the property or properties more accurately here?
So this, there's two parcels on here. You can see the property line right here. And this, so the well pad is on a 61-acre piece of ground. And this access road right here would be a 72-acre piece of ground. So total 133 acres between the two parcels, both owned by Beach Tony.